special occasion. Actually, a little over 10.5 years ago, after about 15 years of indecision,
On whose part?
I asked Jill to marry me, and after a 10 or 15 seconds of indecision, she said yes. And at the time we said, what do we do?
All right.
Where should we get married? When should we do this? And we thought, well, we have a 4th of July party every year and have a group already there, so let's do it then. And we'll make it a surprise. So, kept as few people in the loop as possible. Some of the people, I thank Francine Ocean for kind of being our planner, organizer for the event. And we had the party, and about 7 o'clock, the Honorable Brad Sherman stood up and I have an announcement. Now, this was back when we had a president that Brad didn't want to impeach. So we had no idea what the announcement was. But he said, we're going to have a wedding. And people said, oh, a wedding, that's interesting. And then was the cue for Alan Friedenthal and the other Hoopa Bears. Paul Koretz, who had to leave. Bob Burke, who was supposed to be right here. We don't know what happened to him. And Jill's nephew, Johnny Banks, came out carrying the hookah. And Brad officiated, did an excellent job. The wedding went off pretty well. I had a couple of glitches there. I couldn't remember which hand to put the ring on. And then when it's Jill's turn to put the ring on my finger, I held out both fingers. So she said, wait a minute. So we finally got that one.
Whatever it is, it took.
It took. And then, yes, and I was supposed to break a glass, but it kind of sank into the grass. It took me 3 tries to break the glass. But the wedding, as Helen said, took. And I want to acknowledge also Helen's wonderful late husband, Ken, was the one who introduced Jill and me over
He knew
25
two
years
good
ago.
people when he saw them.
Yes. And he was a wonderful person himself. And by the way, I didn't tell you this, I forgot to tell you this, but of all the interesting things, at Ken's funeral, we talked about him being on Guam with the Marines.
Right.
I realized he was on Guam with the Marines the same time my father was there with the Navy.
They were part of that great generation.
A greatest generation. Yes. So we had a kind of a connection. So we've had a great 10 years, and we've had.
May there be another 20.
There will be as many more as we can make it. I'm so pleased, first of all, to marry this wonderful woman. The last 25 years, really, have been the best years of my life, especially the last 10. She is by far the sweetest, the funniest, the most passionate person I've ever known. So,
It takes one to know it.
thank you. This really is about Jill today, because you can look around and you see Jill's friends from the Valley Alliance of Neighborhood Councils, from her political days from many, many years ago, from Sherman Oaks Neighborhood Council, Department of Water and Power. I'm sure I'm leaving out a few others, and just friends. We'll get to you later. We'll get to family a little bit later. But again, I'm just so grateful to have spent these last 10 years married to Jill, and the previous 15 years being with Jill, enjoying her company, and appreciating everything she has to offer. Jill has an interesting history. studying drama and theater. One time she was a little girl, she wanted to be on the Broadway stage. It didn't quite work out, but she found a place where she could use her talents and skills in theater and acting and drama, and that's politics. Yes. So, again, I just want to tell you how lucky I consider myself to have spent these years with Jill, and I'm looking for so many more. What I'd like to do is, if Jill wants to say something first, or maybe just open it up to somebody who wants to say a few words. And when I mean a few words, I mean a few words. We do have some politicians here. So.
Somehow I felt his eyes on me.
Can we instill the filibuster tonight?
You mean a cloture vote here?
There you go.
Okay.
I have a word to say. Amen.
Thank you.
Amen. Joe, it's been a pleasure to get to know you.
Okay? Yes.
Thank you very much.
Why don't you come out here and be the center of attention? So.
I want to thank Brad for marrying us. And I told Ross afterwards, you don't put both hands out. Because I couldn't figure out which was his hand. And I wanted to turn around, you know how you go like that? Anyway, when we get married again, 25 years, maybe we'll do it differently. You know, after he broke the glass, and then we walked up the aisle, then people came up to me and said, "Oh, is Ross going to convert?" And I said, "No, he's staying a Republican." That was then.
That was when there was a real Republican Party.
And I wanted to thank the hookah carriers that are here, but Bob is not here, but Paul Koretz and Alan Friedenthal. She was back there. I think we used your hookah, didn't we, Alan?
Yeah.
And my nephew Johnny, who couldn't be here, he's in Fort Lauderdale, so we miss him. That was really great. And you know, you could tell by the audience, because it was a big surprise, nobody knew we were getting married. When we played the video, when the hookah carriers came out, you could read people's lips. Oh, shit! There's really going to be a wedding. But you know, we were together for 15 years before we got married, and I just didn't want to jump into it. I wanted to be sure. And you know, I did it gradually. First, he got a little bit of the closet. Then he got the top shelf, and then he got a couple of drawers. And then he said, "Let's get married." So, all right.
And that is still all I have.
We get the general idea. I mean, look at the room, for God's sake.
I love you, Rick. I just love you. So it's very interesting to be in this marriage, a Jew and a non-Jew, and a Republican and a Democrat. We have great conversations. You know, like, do you believe in life after death? You know, all that kind of stuff. And we have philosophical discussions. But you know, Ross does go with me to the high holidays, and he participates in the Seder. I mean, he really, you know,